In this video, I'll be showing you all the moves for Karnaukh Notation or Karnotation. Before watching this video, I would recommend watching my other video on Karnaukh Notation, which should be around here. In that video, I pretty much explain how the moves work, but in this video, I'll be showing you all the different moves you can do with Karnaukh Notation. Now in the future, probably a lot more algorithm will be added. However, in this video, I'll be showing you all the ones that are currently out there now. And I will leave a link in the description with all the moves and what they represent. And if the moves ever get updated, I'll update that link as well. So starting with the basics, we have U prime, D prime. So U is just 3, 0, U prime, negative 3, 0, D prime, 0, negative 3, D is just 0, 3. So U prime, D, D. Pretty simple. U2s and D2s are very, very uncommon in algs because it's pretty much only for bar flips, but in case you ever see one of those, it's just U2 is just a 6, like that, and D is just a 6 on the bottom, like that. Now all of those are uppercase U and Ds. If you have lowercase letters, however, you do something a bit different. So next for lowercase U's and D's, first off for U, do 2 on the top and negative 1 on the bottom. The way you memorize this is usually you do 3 on the top, but instead of doing 3 on the top, you do 2 on the top and get that last one to the bottom layer, like that. So U is just 2, negative 1. U prime is the opposite, so it's negative 2, 1. So like that, negative 2, and then the last move of the U move go to the bottom. So negative 2, 1 is U prime, lowercase. Same for the bottom, D is negative 1, 2. So do like a D move and give the last move to the top layer, like that. So D would look something like this. D prime is the opposite, so do a D prime on the bottom, except save the last move for the top. So something like this. 1, negative 2 would be D prime, lowercase. Alright, speaking of U2 and D2 with lowercase, this can also pretty much represent U2 prime, but they're pretty much the same thing. So for U2 lowercase, just do a 5 on one layer and 1 on the other layer. So something like this would be like a U2 lowercase. So again, 5 on one layer, 1 on the other. If you do negative 5 on one layer and then 1 on the other layer, I guess that's U2 prime. But in general, it's pretty easy to differentiate them. Just do 5 on one layer and then 1 on the other. For D2, it's pretty simple. 5 on one layer and then 1 on the other. Or, if it's D2 prime, 1 on the other, 5 on the bottom. Okay, now let's talk about E. E is pretty simple to remember because it's equator. So whenever you have an E move, you have to move the top and bottom layers by 3. First off, regular uppercase E is just UD prime. There's no prime next to it, which means the top move should be clockwise. And since it is uppercase, move both layers in the same direction, like that. So E prime uppercase should also be the opposite. So just U prime D. So this is E prime uppercase. Lowercase e pretty much means move the layers in opposite directions. So both clockwise or both counterclockwise. So something like this or this. So lowercase e means clockwise moves for the U and D layers. So like that, UD. Then for E prime lowercase, it should be negative 3, like that. For E moves, just remember to face off the top layer. If there's a prime next to it, do a U prime. If not, do a U. If it's uppercase, do both layers together. If it's lowercase, do both layers opposite directions. Alright, next for F moves, these are a bit weirder. Starting with uppercase F, if I have a case like this, just normal F would just be 4, 1. So like that. That's 4, 1. And then uppercase F prime would be negative 4, negative 1, like that. Lowercase just means for the bottom layer, so if it's lowercase f, 1, 4. And if it's lowercase f prime, negative 1, negative 4. So for F moves, if it's uppercase, do 4 on the top. If it's lowercase, do 4 on the bottom. And if it's not prime, do clockwise. If it's prime, do counterclockwise moves. So pretty self-explanatory there. Next for M, this is one I think I invented. I'm not sure, but here it is. It's just negative 1, like that. Or it's just 1, 1, like that. And the way I memorize this is because M2s require these moves. I would like to propose something new, which is going to be a lowercase m, which I would propose as 2, 2. So maybe something like this, like that, 2, 2. And also it would include negative 2, negative 2, like that. Just because M2 is based off this M2, which is 1, 1. And then the corner M2 just goes like 2, 2. So yeah, 2, 2 is just going to be lowercase m, like that. Alright, now we get into multiple slice territory, which is going to be a bit more confusing. Now some of these terms I totally don't understand myself either, but I'll try to explain it to you guys as much as possible. First off, there's going to be W and B moves. So the way I memorize W and B is that for Square-1, I put white on top and then black on bottom. Now if you use white on bottom and then black on top, you just want to reverse the thinking there to make these algs make sense. So first off, it's going to be W, which is just U slice, U prime slice. So the way I memorize this is first W, move the white face, which is on top, clockwise first, and then move it counterclockwise. Now capital W prime would be the opposite. So first off, U prime, slice, U slice. So since it's prime, counterclockwise first, then clockwise first. And of course, this is just dealing with the U layer, which is the white layer. Now for B, B is the bottom layer, I guess, in this scenario. The first one is just capital B, which is just going to be D, slice, D prime slice. So it's capital, which means just do a 3. And since there's no prime, just do a clockwise move first, then a counterclockwise move. Capital B prime will be the exact opposite, so D prime first, then D. Okay, now on to lowercase w's and b's. Now for these, you want to think about it kind of as lowercase u's and d's. So first off, for lowercase w, do a u, lowercase u, and then do lowercase u prime, like that. And then w prime would be lowercase u prime, lowercase u. So pretty much lowercase w's are going to be a lowercase u version of the uppercase w's. Then same for b's here. So first off, lowercase b would just be translated as first off lowercase d, then negative lowercase d. And then for lowercase b prime, it's going to be the exact opposite. So first off, do lowercase d prime, then lowercase d, like that. I don't know why Derby made these ones, but there is some notation where you put a slash through the letter, like on the screen right now. First off, let's start with uppercase slash E, which looks like this. For the ones with slashes in front of them, it's actually quite simple. Just first off, take the first term of the E, do it, which is going to be 3 in this case. Then do the second term, which is going to be negative 3 on the bottom. So that's how we do slashes. You just put like a slash in between the left and right side. So slash uppercase E prime would be something like this. Negative 3, then 3, like that. Because uppercase E prime is negative 3 comma 3, you split up the terms into 2 slices. Now for the bottom, slash lowercase e is just u d slice, like that. And then lowercase e prime slash would be something like this. U prime, d prime, like that. Next for T, I have no really explanation for these ones, so I'll just show them off. They're quite weird, but here they are. Uppercase T is just 2, negative 4, slice, 3, slice. And then capital T prime would just be 2, negative 4, negative 3, slash. And then lowercase t prime would just be 2, negative 4, slash, negative 2, 1, slash. Next for lowercase t2 prime, it looks something like this. You do 2, negative 4, slash, and negative 5, 1, slash. Now for the negative t's, for this one you start with negative 2, 4 instead of 2, negative 4. So negative capital T goes like this, negative 2, 4, slash, 3, slash. Then negative capital T prime goes like this, negative 2, 4, slash, then negative 3, slash. Then for lowercase t's, for negative lowercase t, it will go like this, negative 2, 4, slash, 2, negative 1, slash. And then finally for negative t2, it would go like this, negative 2, 4, as usual, slash, 5, negative 1, slash. Finally, for the 3 slicers, U3 would be something like this, 3, slash, negative 3, 3. It's kind of weird, it's not really 3, 3, 3, it's going to be 3, negative 3, then 3. And then the opposite is going to be U3 prime, which is the opposite, so negative 3, 3, negative 3. For D3s, they're the same thing, so it's going to be 3, negative 3, 3. And then for D3 prime, it would just be negative 3, 3, negative 3. Lowercase u3s and d3s are going to be the same exact thing, so lowercase u, negative lowercase u, and then lowercase u again. U3 prime would just be something like this, lowercase u prime, lowercase u prime. And then same for D moves, so for D3 it's going to be something like this. First off, lowercase d prime, lowercase d. Finally, for D3 prime, it's going to be something like this. First off, lowercase d prime, then lowercase d prime. Lastly, for Karnaukh notation, there are some algs that have notation as well. Stuff like JJ and JR, stuff like that, but I won't be showing that in this video. I'll just show the link in the description, I guess. I don't think they're too common in ALEKS anyway, but if you do want to learn them, the link will be in the description. So yeah, there's auto notation for Karnaukh notation. I know that a lot of it is quite complicated, but hopefully I explained it as well as possible in this video. So yeah, thanks for watching guys.